She comes to in the snow, with blood in her mouth and the sky pressing down like a lid. Wind cuts across the flat, worrying the sage. Her horse is gone. The wagon lies on its side, a broken beetle. Her leg is pinned. She tries to scream, and nothing comes out. Only breath, short, white. The cold is already inside her coat. She thinks of fire. She thinks of lamplight. She thinks this is how it ends. Alone, with no one knowing where she fell. The sound reaches her first. Iron on iron. A shovel biting frozen ground. Someone grunts. Close. Too close to be a dream. The pressure lifts. Wood creaks. Hands slide under her shoulders. Careful hands. She smells soap and smoke. He does not speak. He wraps her in a blanket that smells of horse and clean cloth. He ties off her bleeding with practiced knots. His fingers shake once, then stop. He carries her. The world lurches. Pain flares bright, then dulls. She passes out against his chest, hears a steady breath that is not hers. When she wakes, again there is fire, real fire. A stove ticking as it cools. Lamplight makes a small, brave circle. The room is plain, clean. Her leg is set and splinted. It throbs in time with her heart. He sits at the table, sleeves rolled, washing blood from his hands. The water is pink, then clear. He dries them on his trousers. He does not look at her until she speaks. "Where am I?" "North of Dry Creek." His voice is low. "Careful. You're safe." She believes him because he does not say more. He brings broth, holds the cup while she drinks. He looks past her at the door. It is locked. The key hangs on a nail. He notices her watching and sets the cup down. "I can leave it open," he says. She swallows. "No." He nods, respects the no. That is the first thing she learns about him. Days pass by the sound of chores. Wood split, water hauled. He comes and goes with the light. Snow melts from his boots by the stove. He is broad in a used way, bent slightly, like a man who has learned to lean into weather. Once, in pain, she asks his name. "Elias," he says. After a moment, "I'm a doctor." She laughs, and it turns into a sob. He looks stricken, then stills himself. "You can stay," he says, as if it costs him, "as long as you need." That night, she listens to the wind work the walls. She listens to him move in the other room, sleeping light. The door between them stays closed. The lock remains untouched. For the first time since the road took everything, she does not plan her escape. She lets the fire burn down slow and watches the shadows soften. Spring does not arrive all at once. It leaks in. Mud replaces snow. The creek speaks again. Elias marks time by changing her bandages and setting her legs straighter each week. He never rushes. He asks before he touches. She learns the sound of his knock, even inside his own house. She moves from the bed to a chair by the window, then to the table. Her name comes later. "Anna," she says. "One morning," as if trying it out again. He nods. writes it on a scrap of paper and pins it near the stove. She does not ask why, but she sees his eyes rest there when he thinks she sleeps. They fall into a pattern. He cooks plain food. She washes dishes sitting down, hands in warm water. The clink of plates becomes a promise. At night, he reads by lamplight, medical journals, a Bible with soft corners. Sometimes nothing, just the fire breathing. Once, she asks why he lives so far out. He shrugs. People come when they're hurt. They leave when they're well. She hears the space after, does not fill it. Her leg heals, slow. She hates the waiting. The helplessness scratches at her. One afternoon, she drags herself outside with a cane and nearly falls. He catches her without thinking. His hands are firm. He lets go immediately. "Sorry," he says. "It's all right," she says, surprised to mean it. He builds her a crutch from a broken chair, saws the legs down, fits it to her height. The chair had been mended before, badly. The new wood fits clean. She runs her fingers over the join. "Waist nod," he says. They work together when they can. She shells peas. He turns soil. The garden plot is small, stubborn. He shows her how to plant by feel, not measure. Press the seed. Cover it gentle. Trust the dark. At night, rain comes. She wakes from a dream and sits up, shaking. He is there at the doorway, lamp in hand. "Thunder," he says. She nods. He sets the lamp down and sits on the floor, back to the bed. He does not look at her. "My father used to say," he begins, then stops. Tries again. He said mercy is a kind of shelter. You offer it without asking who deserves it. She listens to the rain, to his breathing. When the shaking stops, he stands and leaves. The lamp stays. The door between them is open now, just a crack. The key still hangs on the nail, unused. She begins to unpack her trunk. One dress, a comb, a tin photograph she keeps face down. She places them in the empty drawers. The house holds the new weight without complaint. Outside, the first green breaks the dirt. Summer brings people. Dust on the road. Horses tied to the fence. Voices carry farther in the heat. Elias works longer hours. Word spreads. A doctor who asks little takes payment in eggs, in silence. Anna sits on the porch shelling beans. Her leg is strong now. She walks without the cane. She feels eyes on her when wagons pass. Curiosity first, then something sharper. One afternoon, a woman stops at the gate, looks Anna over like a measure of cloth. "Didn't know Elias kept help," she says. Anna does not answer. The woman smiles thin. "Widowers ought to mind appearances." The words hang. Dust settles. The woman rides on. That night, Anna hears voices in the yard, men, familiar. Elias speaks low. She cannot make out the words, only the pause, the careful choosing. Later, at supper, he does not meet her eye. They asked questions. He says, "And they'll talk." She waits. He says nothing more. The silence cuts worse than shouting. She nods once and clears her plate. Her hands are steady. Her chest is not. The next morning, she packs. Not everything, just enough. He finds her at the trunk. "You don't have to." "I do." Her voice is calm. It scares her how calm. "You gave me shelter. I won't cost you standing." He flinches, says nothing. That is the failure. Small, human. It sits between them like a third person. He walks her to the road, brings the horse, helps her mount. His hands linger, then fall away. "Where will you go?" "South," she says. "It is as good as anywhere." He nods, steps back. The space opens. Too wide done. She rides for an hour. The sun climbs. Her leg aches. The land rolls on, indifferent. She stops by the creek and dismounts. Sits, breathes. She thinks of the garden, of seeds under dark soil, of a door left open, just enough. By the time she turns back, the light has shifted. Elias is in the yard when she returns, tearing down the old fence. Boards crack. Nails bend. He looks up, stunned. She dismounts and stands. "I had a choice," she says. "I made it." He swallows. "I was wrong." "Yes." He waits. She waits. The wind moves through the grass. "I won't hide you," he says finally. "Or myself." She studies his face. The lines. The weather in him. She nods. They rebuild the fence together. Side by side. Sweat. Splinters. When a board breaks, she laughs. It surprises them both. That night, the lamp burns late. The door stays open. No locks between them now. Only the sound of crickets and a house learning a new shape. Autumn comes clean and bright. The mornings bite. Frost rims the bucket. Elias rises earlier. Anna joins him. They work without talking at first. Shared breath. Shared pace. The town comes again. This time with need. A child with fever. A man kicked by a horse. Elias goes. Anna stays. When whispers reach her, she does not shrink. She stands in the doorway and meets the looks. Some soften, some do not. It matters less than she expected. One evening, Elias returns late. His coat smells of antiseptic and dust. He sets his bag down and does not move. "I told them," he says, "all of it, that you're here because I asked, that I won't send you away." She watches him, waits for the rest. "I was afraid," he says. The words cost him. "Of losing what little place I have left." She steps closer, close enough to see the old scar at his temple. close enough to touch, and chooses not to. And now, he says, if they won't have me, I'll still have this. He gestures. The room, the light. Her. She nods. It is enough. They harvest before the first hard freeze. Carrots pulled bright from dark, beans dry and rattling. She teaches him a song her mother sang, low and off-key. He does not sing. He listens. Later, she hears him humming it wrong while he splits wood. The broken chair becomes a bench by the door. He planes it smooth. She oils the wood. They sit there to pull on boots, to rest, to watch the weather come. At night they share the table, sometimes a story, sometimes nothing. The silence is different now, full, chosen. Winter settles, snow stacks at the windows. The trunk is empty at last. She folds the last address and places it in the drawer. He watches from the doorway. Stay, he says, not as a plea, as a fact he hopes will hold. She crosses the room and takes his hand. His palm is rough, warm. I am, she says. They plant again in their minds while the ground sleeps. What rose will go where? What to save for spring? He feels the latch on the door, not the lock. It closes easy. It opens easy. Fire burns steady. Lamplight throws two shadows that touch and blur. Outside, the wind works the eaves and moves on. Home, she thinks, is not found whole. It is built, board by board, season by season, with hands that stay.